Ali, who is the Global Media Manager of Middle East, North Africa and Eastern European regions at Save the Children International. Thank you so much for coming on. If I may, I would like to ask you for your perception of that claim coming from Euromed Human Rights Monitor that 13 children, and the way they put it, where it was the deliberate killing and execution by Israeli forces. Yes, it's a claim, and it's very hard to kind of prove one way or the other what happened, although, as our correspondent just said, there were witnesses. Given the context that this has happened in, do you find that a credible claim?
I think it's clear what's happening in Gaza is horrific, and that we are already seeing children being killed. You know, we've already seen over 13,700 children killed here. If you look around the streets of Rafah, there are children everywhere. The Palestinian population is majority children. So we know, like all wars, this war in particular is absolutely a war on children. And the only way that children in Gaza are going to be safe and protected now is a ceasefire. We need the bombs to stop dropping, and that is the only way to ensure that children will stop being killed.
When you look at the numbers you just said, well, I think it was 13,000 plus children killed. Israel says that the children who are killed are just being killed incidentally as they pursue Hamas militants. It's absolutely, I mean, I don't know how anybody can imagine that children are being killed accidentally in such vast numbers. So some kind of collateral damage it seems to be the way that Israel is portraying it. Is there any way to look at this as anything but deliberate?
I mean, I think what we can say is that the outcome is known. If we look at Rafah, for instance, this is a small, tiny patch of land where so many people have been forced and displaced into. People displaced from North Gaza, Gaza City, Han Yunis, and now in Rafah, an area that was home to around 275,000 people before the war is now housing over 1.5 million people, the majority of whom are women and children. And we know what will happen if bombs are dropped in this area, and that is children will continue to die. So the only thing that can save them is a ceasefire. We need a ceasefire. And as well as that, of course, we know that, as your report said, children are dying because of malnutrition and dehydration. Disease is rampant throughout Rafah. So we need the border crossings to open up. We need aid to get in safely and quickly, and we need a ceasefire.
Like I said, Israel says this is all purely accidental. The critics, though, say this is a deliberate attempt to try and wipe out the next generation of Palestinians. Now, I know you're not going to, offer your thoughts on that, but I can ask you, in reality, is Palestine going to lose a generation?
I think we can see the impact on this generation. What's left right now in Rafah, I have seen some of the most horrific scenes that will stay with me for the rest of my life. You know, we have seen children walking around in groups. I saw a young boy pushing a toddler on a wheelchair, and the wheelchair collapsed and the toddler hit his head. I can see children on the streets with their feet bleeding, walking around in desperate search for food and water. We're in a point now where children are having to look after children, and you can really see beyond physical the mental health toll this is taking. Children visibly tremoring because they are so impacted by the bombs. Me as an adult, I'm impacted. I cannot imagine what it is like for a young child here. One mother told us that her daughter is barely speaking after their tent was set on fire, and that is a 9-year-old girl. The impacts are going to be enormous, and we will see this for years to come if a ceasefire does not happen as quickly as humanly possible.
It's great to speak to you. Thanks so much for giving us the benefit of your knowledge. Soraya Ali is my guest, Global Media Manager at Save the Children International.